Welcome to Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick, and we're here at the fabulous The Aftertaste Smokehouse and Grill with Miss Michelle and her husband, Chef Adams. Thank you for having us here today.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about where you're located and what this fabulous food we have before us today.
Yes, hi. So my name is Michelle Morgan Adams, and my husband is Chef Segundo Adams. We are the co-owners of the Aftertaste Smokehouse and Grill. And so today we have 2 veggie plates that consist of all of our sides, comfort foods, and flavorful seasonings.
Yeah, I love it. I've been here before, and the food is delicious. And we are
This is Lawrenceville, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and what's your address?
706 Grayson Highway, Suite 212, and it's Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Okay, and do you do anything else? Do you cater or?
Yes, we offer corporate catering. We offer wedding catering, formal events, any type of special events, and any type of in-house events we can accommodate. So I'm also an event planner, so we would love to put something together for your viewers.
Yeah, and can I just say that I am vegan, and I appreciate, Chef, that the vegetables were not cooked with meat. Therefore, I can partake.
Right.
Because, we love soul food, but one of the things historically, we're used to cooking with meat to flavor the vegetables. So I appreciate that I got some greens, and they're good. Some sweet potato fries and some fried corn.
That's right.
And she even accommodated me on the corn and didn't put butter on it. So I appreciate that.
Yes. That's right. And I have my greens, cabbage, mac and cheese, and some potato salad. So awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you. Hi. Welcome to today's episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat. I'm Karen Scott Green.
And I'm Kat Hardrick.
And we're here today with our very good friend, Chad Livsey.
Yay!
And Chad is a legend in Gwinnett County.
That's right.
So we both met Chad in Snellville. His name, if you live in Gwinnett County, and particularly if you live you've seen his name on plenty of roads.
That's right.
His name is outside of my subdivision for the Chad Livsey Project.
That's right.
And he is also the founder and director of Come Clean Gwinnett and Come Clean Atlanta.
Yep.
So we're going to let Chad tell you what those projects are about and what he does.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. This is an amazing place, actually, so I'm going to come back, bring the family. But Come Clean Gwinnett is, it actually started by just efforts around the Promised Land, like you said. Just seeing that people were moving in and kind of trashing the whole area and didn't really have the connection that I do with the land. And so I actually moved back here 6 years ago from New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part of New York?
I was in Manhattan.
Wow,
I lived
bougie.
At first.
Bougie.
Then broke up with my ex-fiance, and then I had to move to the non-bougie part.
Okay.
So I was in New York, but came back home and just started cleaning up streets. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so, go ahead. So, for those who aren't aware, tell us what the Promised Land community is.
I was just about to ask.
Okay, I have to, because that's where I'm from. That's where I'm born and raised. The Promised Land is it's a place that my great grandfather bought 110 acres in 1920. In collaboration with other black families. This is what I'm learning now, with the Anderson family, with Lucas family, Blackmans, just historic black families in the area. They came together and bought this land that was actually a part of the Civil War. Sherman came through and burned the town. And after the war, my great-grandfather was able to buy the land. So when he passed on, it was split up amongst the family. So the 13 kids got portion of the 110 acres.
Wow.
So it's all family. It's like a village.
Yeah, nobody really talks about ownership, blacks owning that type of land. How many acres did you say?
It was 110 acres.
Wow, that's a lot.
So of the original 110 acres, how many acres are still in the family?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, because there's still families with lots that they own they own the houses.
Okay.
My aunt lives there, cousins. My grandfather has about probably 16 acres.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
So it's still close.
It's still in the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
For the most part.
for those of you who've been over in that area, off of 124, south of Minks Livsey, Promised Land area, you've seen several roads. Anderson Livsey, Minks Livsey, that's his family.
Now, is Minks Livsey part of the Livsey?
He definitely, he came from England though, so that's why I have this nose. Because I'm about half white, you know? So so he was a part of the white Livsey family. Like around Lenore Park was Livsey. It's a lot of the streets are called Livsey, you know, because it was a part of the family land, and that was the white family land.
Wow.
Because we can trace our name back to 1776. So we've been here over 200 years, and we can trace our family back to Sandy Livsey, who was, a lot of people believe he was hung, lynched. So we're trying to get that history out too.
Yeah. And there's been some DNA connection between the white Livseys and the black Livseys of that area. Because I remember seeing an article. Has to be more than 10 years now, featuring your grandfather and the other Livsey side.
We still have reunions.
He always knew.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't have to clean up afterwards. You know? But we all
Wrong for that.
we all help. But it's punctual, it's on time, and it's over real quick. But no, we still get together, so it's
This guy.
Okay.
it's still weird. It's still weird, but we still,
You
we're
came
still
back
family.
6 years ago, and you saw the need for cleaning up the area, and you jumped in. How did you get reluctance? How did you get your name on all the roads? Chad Livsey Project.
I had to ask my grandfather because he had his name before me. He had his name. He was doing it before Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful, before with no support. So I asked him, and he was like, "You gotta go to get out." I'm like, "Why are you screaming at me? I'm just trying to clean up."
What did he say?
I heard Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful. I'm like, okay, so let me look them up, and then I went to them and adopted Toledo. That was my first street, and then I adopted High Point Road because I took all the streets that were terrible.
Right.
It was like 40 bags of litter each time I cleaned up. I mean, you can go look at 6 years ago. Now there's no litter. I don't have to clean up on South Rockbridge, which I adopted because I was doing 40 plus bags.
Wow. And how
Just
many
by
people
myself.
did you have?
Just myself.
Wow. And
So
now
I got arthritis now. My back hurts. My feet. Yeah. So the weed is for my back now. But I'm just. But I've done a lot of work. Yeah. Legalize Gwinnett.
And so you're not doing it by yourself. How do you get volunteers?
Just people that are crazy enough to want to come out and help, like yourself and your husband.
I picked up trash.
Neighbors,
Right.
just passionate people that didn't know they had power to do it.
Right.
We created. I was the inspiration for Snellville Clean and Proud.
Okay.
I had a meeting with Dave Emanuel before it was created, so
Right.
it's just about getting out there, letting people know they can clean up their own street.
Absolutely. And I've
have to wait
also
for
seen
anybody.
you at the Yellow River Trash Bash too. Is that part of? Is that part of your project?
We're very close.
Okay.
Mark Wilson is one of the administrators of Come Clean Gwinnett.
Okay.
And he's also part of Yellow River.
Okay. All right.
That's real good.
Yeah. So because I did it last year, and there were Sigmas out there.
They were like, can you take a group of black people? I'm like, yeah, of course, yeah.
So there were Sigmas, there were other Greek organizations out there as well. There were students who were getting community service hours from school. So it was a really good turnout. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
It's coming up now.
a lot of people are starting to do that all over the place, right? So you help people get community hours.
Oh yeah, I from the Beta Club, we partnered with South Gwinnett Beta Club, and we cleaned up High Point Road a couple times. Actually.
Okay.
So I got to reach out to them again because it's that time now.
Right.
You know.
At Shiloh High School?
South Gwinnett. On High Point, it's just a stretch of road that just gets trashed.
Overlooked.
You know.
Yeah.
So Shiloh has a Beta Club too.
Yeah, I want to connect to all of them.
Right.
I want to connect to all of them.
Some of us just like Shiloh a little bit more.
Well, you know,
I'm a South girl, I'm a Comet, you know, but you know.
But see, growing up for us, it was a matter of growing up on one side of the street.
Oh, really?
I went to South because I was on Lee Road. My uncle went to Shiloh because he was on the other side of the road. They split us right down the road. So.
Now, when we first moved to the area, my oldest son went to South Gwinnett.
Okay.
And then by the time we had the younger kids, our neighborhood was zoned for Shiloh.
Shiloh.
So literally, like the subdivision right past us is like the boundary for Shiloh, and everybody above that is going to goes to South Gwinnett.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But enough of that. We digress. We digress a lot.
Right.
That could go. Yeah.
How do you get your funding? How can people come out and help?
We get our funding, actually, most of our funding comes from our own business.
Okay.
We have delightful vending. We have accounts all around Atlanta with the Atlanta Braves. We just go. In the streets, they call me Snack King Cole. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going, putting snacks, in vending machines in different places. My wife teaches people how to create their own vending empire. So
Your lovely wife, she's so sweet. How's the baby?
Yeah, they're great. They're great. I had them most of the day. Now she's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we would be remiss if we don't talk about family because, we know that you don't do this by yourself.
That's right.
So you are married and your wife's name is?
Kendra Mays Livsey.
And you have beautiful daughters.
Thank you.
And they are how old now?
I'm about to be 1, actually.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, her birthday's coming up. 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I have a son, he's 12 now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
I've only seen the baby. I've only seen the little one. And so how do you juggle being hands-on dad, doing everything that you do? So you have a vending business, you are involved in the community. Every time I was out at an event, I would see Chad when I was running.
Doing the promised land.
So you're doing it. How do you juggle all of that?
Because there's no competition, really. I mean, if you're out doing something,
That's right.
nobody, people aren't doing what they should. So with the trash, I mean, it was just, I was walking the bus stops in New York, and I'm just used to walking. So for me, it's like just pick up the trash. So now I manage it by my first job is watching my kids. That's what I do. And then if I have 2 hours, I go clean up the street.
Right.
Or I can. We do Sunday service now. Like you said, we just pick a day and try to promote, try to get people out, but it's not easy.
And your next Sunday service is on the 7th, so.
Oh yeah. On the 7th, Edgewood, in Atlanta. We cleaned the area before. It was just a really I talk to homeless people. We're really in the streets.
Yeah.
We're really in the streets. I wish more politicians would come out. Take off the suits and the
put on the jeans, and the what do you call them? The boots. Put on your rubbers.
And
come out.
Put your time and your talent and your treasures behind doing the work You know, we need people to make legislation, but we also need people in the street to do the work
to roll
for
up
the
the
people.
sleeves. Absolutely.
Like sometimes it sounds like you put more profit and maybe personal interest over what really counts is humanity, right? Our people in our community. So I totally agree, and I applaud you for what you're doing, because it's not easy. You know, literally going out here picking up trash. It's hot, it's raining, and you're doing what you do. So.
No, it's not. You know, sometimes I don't know why. You know, I'm doing it. I'm just.
That's your calling.
You know, but it's my mission.
That's
my
your
purpose,
calling, and we need that. So, how are things with you being in Gwinnett? How have things been with you navigating, getting support, funding, and things of that sort?
It's been difficult. You know, we get a lot of, I don't know if it's just my family or just what we get told is just like, you know, hold on, everything's coming. Economic development's coming. You know, just wait, just be patient, you know, and that's something I've seen a lot in history, you know, but so funding is something that we're now ready for, you know. We have a nonprofit status, so.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, yes, yes, definitely. So we're ready for grants, ready to have crews, people that need community service hours, students, you know, people that make mistakes. We have a gentleman that he stole from we have a snack bar in Buckhead, so he, you know, he went in one night, took some beer and some wine, you know, and instead of getting him arrested or anything like that, I told him, just come clean some streets with us.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's real good.
So
that's some restorative justice.
That's right, and we just talked about that.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. Now it's like, now he's talking to homeless people. He sees how I interact with everyone. He knows. This is a white guy. This is a big, tall white guy. So I'm taking him to the blackest parts of Atlanta, you know, to let him know you could have been arrested.
Yeah.
Right.
But you weren't. You met the right black person.
That was great.
You met the right person.
Right.
That was great.
The right human being.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you said you're 501c3. You have a 501c3 status. So, do you accept donations as well?
We accept donations.
Okay.
We accept trash bags, gloves, vests.
Right.
You know, we're running low on bags. We had like 500, but that's not a lot.
Right.
You know,
how can people make those donations? Where do they
can go to the Chad Livsey Project, chadlivseyproject.com. You can go to Chad Livsey Project on Facebook. We have PayPal, you know. Cash App. Yeah.
And is that the same place people can go to sign up to volunteer?
Definitely. Yeah, you can just go to Chad Livsey Project. You can send us an email, and then, or just go. You know, Facebook is easy. Yeah. For us. But.
So you're on Facebook as what?
Well, we have Facebook as Come Clean Atlanta, Come Clean Gwinnett, and the Chad Livsey Project.
Okay. So all three, that comes to you?
That comes to us, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
How strong is your team? Like, how big are your volunteer pool, your staff? Do you have a constant 10 or 15 people or 2 or 3 people? I know it kind of fluctuates.
It fluctuates. I mean, we've had some cleanups that was like 60 people, you know, then, you know, cleanups when it's me, you know, and for me, it doesn't matter, because I'm gonna do what I'm here to do. So, but now we're getting people that have community service hours, so I can create a cleanup, and we get 3 people together, and we can go clean up any street anywhere in Atlanta.
I think that'll be so good too, to help, especially young people, to see what it takes for each and every person to pour into their community. You don't have to wait until trash day or whatever. You see something in your community, just go ahead and pick it up. And then first of all, let's not throw it down in the first place.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You know, but you're at the promised land. You have Juneteenth that just passed. You have farmers markets out there. I want you to tell the story about the house, the land that no longer belongs to the Livsey family, if you don't mind, and how that came about.
Oh man, yeah, I think it was close to when I moved back home. It was like 6 years ago. I had a friend call me. He was like, yeah, man, the big house sold. And the big house was a place that all of our family went to. That's where we grew up. That's where some of us were conceived. It was a place during the Civil War that never got burned down by Sherman's troops.
Wow.
And that's why the historical importance of that house is so important. And so I found out just through a friend, and it really it hurt, but now I see, like, if it's done right, it can be a great thing for the family, for our history, and for the future.
Right. So the house was purchased by the Gwinnett Historical Society?
Yes. For $160,000+.
Okay.
There was like 16 people involved.
Was that a fair market price at the time? Or? No.
See, no. I think it was no. They used splash money just to buy the house, and everybody got enough for a jet ski, And then
sorry,
so
you made me laugh. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, because I know, I used to valet, and I valeted in Atlanta, and I had a lady that worked for the Atlanta History Center. We just started talking one day, and I told her where I'm from, and she was like, "Oh, let me go back and look that up." And then she found it, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, the papers from the journal from the man from the plantation that you're from is in the Atlanta History Center. It's in the library." I said, "Wait a minute, what?" So. And then after a few conversations, they told her to stop talking to me.
What?
And it's just it's been a lot of almost whitewashing.
Wow. So will the house be on the National Historic Register?
I want it to be. I want it to be a National Historic Site because it is part of the Civil War. So that has to deal with the makings of this country.
That's right.
Or the breakings of this country, It should be national because it is bigger than Gwinnett.
Yeah.
And a lot of things are bigger than Gwinnett.
Yeah.
So
that's right. It's history.
Oh, it's history.
It's facts.
Was anyone living in the house when it was sold?
We had some cousins that were in the house, but it was nobody really living in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wow. But it still was owned.
It was owned
by your family.
Owned by the family.
Occupied or not?
I think it. Like. It can still be a great opportunity.
Right.
Between government and family that has been shunned, had to go had to build their own schools, first of all. We built our own schools. The New Bethel school was before the church.
Where the white building is, the older white building.
No,
even
before the cell phone tower is?
Yes.
That's where the school was.
Wow.
They took that land in intimate domain. It was a Collins Inn. There was some illegal activity. They took the land and put a cell phone tower on top of it.
Okay.
And that's where the school was. So, that's the truth of what we had to go through. And they're like, it could be made better. I feel like, my grandfather, he had to stop going to school in 9th grade because he had to walk 7 miles to go to school in DeKalb County because Gwinnett stopped schooling black children after a certain point.
Because they wanted you to be farm hands.
Right.
So same thing happened with my father. My father was born in 1930. Was raised in Jackson County, Florida. And Jackson County at the time didn't have high schools for Negroes.
What?
He had to go live with his aunt in Panama City, a couple of counties over, to be able to go to high school. But because they didn't have any high schools in the entire county for blacks, because you were expected that you were going to help out on, you're going to be a field hand, you're going to help out. So there was no need to educate you past
a certain grade. Yeah, because at that point you're going to be a field hand.
before he went to Panama City, he actually went to Edward Waters College. It wasn't college then, but it was a high school in Jacksonville. It's now a university. But he went there, and the story is he called my grandfather that same night to come pick him up. He was like,
you gotta come get me.
So, and then he came back home, and then they sent him to Panama City. But that was not an uncommon phenomenon in rural areas. You know, it was not.
And so you have an elementary school, the church, and now since you spoke about farming, what's some new things coming down the pipe for you?
We're pretty excited. We're gonna, the area was a farm. We were sharecroppers. We had bees. My great grandfather
made your own honey.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely. My great grandfather made his own charcoal that we used to sell back and forth to Atlanta. Wood, lumber. So now we're gonna create a farm again.
Oh wow, that's gonna be so nice.
What are some of the things you intend to grow on the farm?
Mushrooms, actually.
Okay. The magic
avocados.
kind,
Hey.
Your back hurt, right?
Yeah, my back hurt. Ouch. But no, edible kind, for dinner.
I need to be able to find a good oyster mushroom. Can you grow some oyster mushrooms, please?
I think we are.
Okay.
I got to talk to the farmer. I'm not the farmer.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, think about the mindset.
I'll put the word in.
It's so hard for me to find oyster mushrooms.
Okay. Yeah, no, we want to have all that. Pineapples,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to grow pineapples in Snellville, Georgia?
Yes.
I'm going to see this.
Right.
Oh, yeah. She's got 12 pineapple trees already.
Really?
Ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. How many acres are you going to be farming on?
At least 2.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to. So now, will you have your own? Do you anticipate having your own farmers market, or will you coordinate with some of the other farmer markets that are going on?
You already have farmers markets, huh?
Oh yeah, we do. We want to have them more frequently. So right now it's just my wife and I, and so we have a couple events a year, and then that's what we can handle. But when we have a farm. Definitely, we're gonna have produce coming through.
Okay.
I know who's gonna be coming there all the time.
Hey, girl, I would do that. I would definitely do that.
Absolutely.
I wanted you to talk a little bit about. You reopened Cheryl Lake on your grandfather's property. Could you talk a little bit about that and some of the events that you've hosted since you reopened it?
Sure. Yeah. It was. It's been a part of the family. People used to get baptized there. We actually used to grow cotton on the lake area, the family, and then my grandfather knew to make it into a pond, basically. So it was just sitting there. It's been for family reunions and things like that. But we didn't really have a bathroom area, so we had to get community support. We renovated the bathroom area. So we can't have events, and I had to get porta potties all the time.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. It's 7 acres, and we're gonna have more events. There's a bike show that we're talking about.
Really?
Yeah, New Year's Eve.
Like
New Year's Eve bike show.
Not my trust.
No, I'm talking about hard. Yeah. Bikers. Black bikers.
Yeah, Nikes. Get out of here.
Fireworks.
Ninjas.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have I think we have the biggest fireworks show in Gwinnett County. Because we met a fireworks lady, and it was.
I'm usually out of town.
For Juneteenth.
Juneteenth was nice.
Juneteenth. Yeah, we had an amazing fireworks show.
So you've done Juneteenth. You've had back to school events.
Back to school with the AKAs, Derek Wilson over the Chamber, Eastside Chamber, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything planned? Anything you've got in the works that's coming up at Cheryl Lake?
We're looking at a fall event too.
Okay.
So where kids can ride around,
Stay tuned.
Things like that. Yeah.
So the events at Cheryl Lake, they can find out about at thepromisedland.com.
They can go to the Promised Land Market
Promised
on
Land
Facebook,
Market.
or just go to the Chad Livsey Project.
Okay.
There's no website. There's nothing for it. So it's a lot coming.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
It's only known to certain people in the neighborhood.
Okay. And our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because it's a stocked pond, and at one point.
Oh yeah, there's fish, there's bass, crappie.
Okay.
We just put an RV there, so we're a couple of weeks away from getting the RV rented. So it'll be tourism, and then we'll have more exposure, more awareness.
I love it. I love it.
Lots of happening on the property.
Good things happen.
I love it. Well, my neighborhood is not, I guess it's the promised land area, and I love living over there.
Yeah.
We could probably afford to live someplace else, but I love my community.
That's right.
And we raised our kids here. My middle son just graduated high school. I have an 11th grader, and I love the close-knit feel of the community,
And you shouldn't have to leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have to fight. You have to fight.
Exactly.
Because, you just have to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you care about where you live.
That's right.
Because what always amazes me is, my kids go to Shiloh. I don't make no.
Where they go?
Shiloh. That's right. They went to Shiloh Middle and Shiloh High School. And my youngest one went to Anderson Livsey.
Okay.
But folks will always, I've had folks who've had negative things to say about Shiloh High School whose kids don't attend there, and they've never attended there.
That's it.
And, my thought is, if I'm going to complain about it, I need to be part of the solution rather than complain about it.
Right.
So for those parents who are complaining about the schools, are you in the schools?
Right.
Are you involved in the PTA? Are you involved in any of the parent
And your
support
kids
groups?
don't have to go to school to be a part of the PTA.
This is true.
And the parent or not, because you have people complaining it's not even parents. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You think the neighborhood is dirty or trashy, we'll get up and help clean.
Yes.
Right.
You can do something.
Your time, your talent, and your treasures. Do something. Use it
serve.
for something positive instead of complaining.
Yeah. So I love and appreciate the work that you're doing in the community, not just in Promised Land, but throughout Gwinnett, and then you're also in DeKalb and in Atlanta.
Thank you.
So I appreciate
No, thanks
that.
for coming out. And, you've supported Kat. You've always been a supporter. So we appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes,
Absolutely.
But that's what this show. That's what our intent with this show is, to highlight folks like yourself who are in the community, who are doing the work. Because we can talk the talk, but unless you're out there on the side of the road, unless you're in the schools, unless you're working with the kids, in the streets, unless you're, working with young people, working with people who are coming out of prison, unless you're, doing something to make somebody's life a little bit better, you're nothing but noise.
Amen.
I agree.
You're nothing but noise.
That's right. You said it perfectly, sister.
That's my 5 cents for today.
That's right. But you said
Because of inflation, it used to be 2 cents. But
I like that. Yeah, man, that's good.
that's what you get on this show, right?
A nickel.
So, that's right. I don't want to miss the opportunity.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want the viewers to be aware of that's coming up, that you're working on, that you need anything for?
That's right.
Donations, bodies,
Bags.
We need
Not
all
together like that.
no bag bodies, but bags, support, awareness, grants, funding, definitely. I mean, I really feel like if we have the right resources, we can go out and clean up Atlanta and Gwinnett and Georgia. Yes. It's no big deal. It's just a couple hours a day I can clean up the street.
Love it.
So. I mean, if I don't get any of that, it will still be me,
still gonna do it.
and it will still be, I'll still do what I can.
That's right.
We're ready to make a bigger impact. So,
Love it.
We thank you, brother.
Thank you.
For
Yes.
everything that you're doing. Thank
Absolutely.
you so very much.
thank you.
Yes. And with that, we have concluded this episode of Conversations with Karen and Kat.
Where we are impacting the world one conversation at a time.
Thank you.